Good morning, guys. So I wanted to talk briefly on something I've been kind of dealing with the past few months, which is these sort of like unspoken expectations of people or unspoken feelings, and how they get so blown out of perspective, particularly being like a stay-at-home parent, but really for anyone. And so, like, one thing is that for me, whenever someone would do something that would hurt my feelings or would upset me or stress me out, I would react in such a big way, maybe not to them, but in my moment, whether I was talking to my husband or whether I was by myself having a meltdown, whatever, like, my reaction would be in such a big way. But I had to really reflect and realize that, like, the big reaction I was having wasn't to that person. It was to my situation. And the reverse side of that is, had I had that reaction outwardly, like, one thing that really triggers those big reactions for me is, like, incessant messaging. If you send me, like, a ton of messages about something, not just, like, to say hi, but, like, if you are, like, messaging me a lot to check in about something or to ask me my progress on something that's not done, that really, really stresses me out, like, a lot, and it usually puts me over the edge because I am already stressed about other things. And that piece, that because I'm already stressed about other things, is the piece that other person is missing. So I've paid a lot of attention to that. I remind myself that that person does not know what's going on for me. So it's not really necessary that I include them in it. What I need to respond to and what I need to try my best to do is to isolate our interaction to the way that they're treating me or to the content that they're giving me. And if I need them to understand how I'm feeling as a whole, then I need to inform them about the whole situation. So, like, with the messaging example, if someone's blowing up my phone and I want to blow up at them, I first need to give them the tools to do what they can. And the thing that I could do would be to tell them, hey, this and this is what I have going on in my life. Now, if I have told a friend I have a lot going on, if I've told a friend I'm very stressed out and they still do that, then maybe I still shouldn't blow up at them. But if I do, they understand why, and they had the opportunity to take away their piece of it. So first of all, don't react into the big picture unless someone has seen it. React to their section. But then also on the reverse of that is that I've had people react to the big picture, and then I want to be upset about it because I feel like they have treated me wrongly, or because they're upsetting me or stressing me out or hurting my feelings or whatever it may be. One thing that really, really helps me to step back a little bit from that situation is to remember that I only have a piece of their picture. To me, this person might be like such a small piece of my day, and I don't understand why they're so upset with me, or I don't understand why they're relying so much on my quick response, or whatever it may be. But everyone is really like the star of their own story. So, like, this person that is stressing me out, they might be like such a minor piece of my day, but they're their own entire day. I'm reading the Lauren book, they're reading the whoever they are book. And so, whatever issue they're resolving with me, that's what's going on for them right now. And then also, it is framed around all of the other stuff that they have going on. And it really has helped me to be more empathetic to the situation, to also remember that, not only is it in the context of what else is going on for them, but that most people react the way that they do because they're sad and they're hurting. I think we're all really just hurting. And that's why we're mean. That's why we're angry. That's why we're impatient. That's why we're stressful. I think at the end of the day, most of the negative reactions, the negative emotions that we experience, most of the negative vibes that we put out are because we are hurting. In stress, maybe it's a little bit different from actually, sadness, but stress is a really horrible thing to go through too. And so sometimes I try to just drum up what could it be. Not that I need to know why they're hurting, but to give myself an idea. Maybe it's this or maybe it's that, just to lend me the patience to empathize with that person. And sometimes I'll put it in the scope of my own experiences. This happened on this day, and I remember on this day that I was feeling extremely depressed. Maybe that person was also feeling extremely depressed, and they are stressing me out, trying to get me to answer their messages because they are alone, and they need someone to answer them. They need someone to be there for them, and for them, in that moment, I'm that person. So it does help. It does help me to let go a little bit of my frustration, to really think about, things that way. Because there's been a lot of, things like that going on, and a lot of unspoken, I realize that I'm not going to go to certain ones of my friends and be like, look, I really need you to answer the phone when I call you, or look, I really need you to check on me once a week. Those kind of things I'm not going to do. But also, before I get too deep into the abandonment feelings, before I get too deep into feeling, oh, I don't have friends, this person doesn't care about me, to also remember I haven't spoken those expectations, and then circling back, they're running their own show right now. So while that doesn't mean they don't care about me or that I'm not important to them, they've got other shit on their plate. So those things have really, kind of helped me a little bit, and I challenged myself to, with the unspoken expectations, unspoken feelings, if I expect something from someone, or if I'm hurt by something that was or was not done to me, that if I am going to hang on to that, I need to express it. If I don't want to talk about it with them, I have to let it go. Those are the choices, because if I hang on to it and I don't express it, it's not fair to them, and it's only hurting me more. So, it's hard, because it's really easy, I think, to, especially if you're shy or if you hate confrontations. I really don't like, having conflicts with people. So it's hard, and you want to just, keep it to yourself, and you just want people to just figure out what's wrong and fix it. But, just challenging myself that, hey, either talk it through or realize that it is an unspoken expectation, and you cannot hold people to things that are not spoken. It's unrealistic. It's unreasonable. So yeah, those are some of the things that have really helped me a little bit lately. Because it's a lot, and it's really easy to just sort of start drowning in our own realities, especially when we're alone. Whether you're a stay-at-home parent, or whether you just moved to a new town and don't have a lot of friends, or whether, you were recently have ended a relationship, or whatever it may be. if you, I mean, or you know what, you might be in the same town you grew up in, surrounded by friends, in a loving relationship, and you might still feel lonely. And when you're lonely, especially when you feel lonely, even if you're not alone, it can be like maddening. It can be like you start to kind of lose a sense of what's reasonable, and you start to lose a sense of how important you are to other people, and you know, how big your problems really are. Everything feels so different and so distorted. So these are times, you know, I say just to take a step back and remind yourself that we're all sad and we're all hurting. And for most of us, if we're being mean, if we're being unkind or impolite or stressful or whatever shitty thing we're doing to other people, it's probably because we're hurting. You know, and then evaluate your own hurt and challenge yourself not to hurt others because of it. Don't just keep passing this pain along to everyone. Try and break the chain, the pain chain. That wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't do just some stupid fucking rhyme. Don't follow me. Unfollow me.